Hi, this is Deborah Baska, Coach Deb, and this is the report in on my Ultimate Reset journey. And this is actually my day 2, but it's my day 1 report in. And I'll tell you why I'm delayed on the report. Because yesterday I was sick. I was detoxing and it was not a pretty picture. And before I scare you all off of doing the Ultimate Reset, let me just tell you a little bit about why I was detoxing. The Ultimate Reset very clearly states that when you have a lot of toxins in your body, as your body's ridding itself of them, you may actually feel a little bit worse before you feel better. And typically, people experience probably the most discomfort around days 3 to 4 because your body has been off of the processed foods and the chemicals and the caffeine and the things that it may be used to. Well, for me, mine hit in a really big way on day 1. And as I've mentioned in other videos, I have a bit of an issue with drinking Diet Coke. And this really has just proven to me how completely damaging that has been to my body, because the way my body reacted yesterday after not having its morning portions of Diet Coke that it usually has, it was not pretty. I started getting a headache probably around 10 o'clock, and it just got worse all day long. And then it really turned into a migraine caliber headache with nausea and hot and cold sweats. And by the end of the evening, I couldn't even eat my dinner. And my lunch came back up, and it was just not pretty. So that is not a typical response to detoxing. That is not something everybody experiences. I'm in touch with a lot of people on the Ultimate Reset boards, and yeah, a lot of them feel a little uncomfortable, but that's really crazy. But actually, another of the girls in my group that's doing it experienced something similar. So anywho, I wasn't in any condition to do videos yesterday, but I did wake up today feeling better. I'm a little obviously weak. I was weak this morning from not having much food in me yesterday, and a little kind of tired and fuzzy headed just from somebody answer the phone. Just a little tired and fuzzy headed just from not sleeping well yesterday. But I feel a lot better than I did yesterday. And you can let the dog in, honey. So I was up and at 'em this morning, and I had my blueberries and oatmeal and yogurt, and it really set well on my stomach. It was a perfect thing. Yesterday, our menu, see, we get this book that tells us every day what we are eating. And so day 1, I had scrambled eggs and toast and steamed kale, and then the delicious green salad with the most delicious creamy garlic dressing that you've ever tasted, that you make yourself. And then the dinner that I didn't get to have last night was the salmon and baby new potatoes and asparagus. So, the food is definitely delicious. And the one thing I noticed yesterday when I was eating my breakfast before I started to go downhill is, I would never crave, I don't think, scrambled eggs and dry toast and steamed kale for breakfast. But as I was eating it, I really noticed how delicious it was. And I noticed that I had no desire to eat more of it. And I really don't know that I would ever crave it, but it was tasty, it was filling, and it was nutritious. And I think the thing I want to point out with is so much of the food that we eat is so processed and has so much sugar and so many additives and flavorings and salt and just chemicals that are designed to make us want to eat more, to make us eat past the point of being full, but they also are designed to make us crave them. And so these are the toxins that are in our body. These are the toxins that we need to get rid of. And when you go through this process at the end of the 3 weeks, the end of the 21 days, you will probably find that your taste buds have changed. You will try, if you're truly going to do this, you're going to try some foods that you probably haven't eaten before. I know I never ate kale before I did the Ultimate Reset the first time. And, kale is really becoming au courant because it's got so much iron in it. It's got so many vitamins. It's a superfood basically. And the way I made mine, I steamed it and I put a little bit of lemon juice on it and then some pine nuts. And I sprinkled just a little bit of Himalayan crystal salt to give it a little bit of salt taste. But it was really very good. And the fact that it was absolutely nourishing my body makes me feel really good. So back to day one, it was interesting because my husband even said to me, "Why are you doing this? Why are you putting yourself through this?" I looked like I was dying. I did. He even said, I've never even seen you look so awful. Thanks, honey. But it almost, if anything, reaffirmed my decision to do this because I know that my body's toxic. And I know that that's why I don't feel the way I should be feeling. I mean, I live a pretty healthy lifestyle. I work out. I don't drink alcohol. I try to eat the right kinds of foods the most of the time. But I have this one big vice, and that's diet soda. And, I've tried to tell myself, well, everybody needs to have a little vices. Well, and that may or may not be true. But for me, this particular vice is affecting my quality of life. I am certain of it. I am sluggish and tired and I don't sleep well and I'm never rested. And I really believe that when I'm finished with this, that getting rid of that out of my system, that I will feel better. I mean, I have to believe that because I've tried so many other things and there's just no other excuse for it. So, somebody even asked me yesterday, as I was going through this process, and they're like, well, should you have a little bit of Diet Coke if that's going to make you feel better? And somebody asked me, is this for you? Is this a 3-week deal that you're just wanting to get through? Or is this really a lifestyle change? And I said, it's a lifestyle change. Because if it was just a 3-week deal, well, then maybe go ahead, cheat, But I am trying to make a lifestyle change here. And I'm not saying I'm going to go into vegan eating and that I'm going to never eat Mexican food and cheese and crackers again. But Diet Coke is something that I really believe I need to stop doing. And, when I quit drinking alcohol 5 years ago, my body did not respond like this. And I was drinking a lot. So the fact that my body is detoxing more harshly from diet soda than it did from alcohol, I think is pretty telling about how horrendous this particular habit is for me and is for you if you're drinking as much diet soda as me, which a lot of people want to know, how much were you drinking? Well, I would get up in the morning and drink a Diet Coke, a can, and then maybe another can. Then I would go and get myself a 44-ouncer from the convenience store and sip on that. When that ran out, I would, have some more cans. I don't know how many. Sometimes I would take my cup, if I'm out and about and get another refill of the 44-ouncer. So that's kind of what I was doing, and just kind of all day long. And I would usually stop, before dinner. I didn't usually drink any after dinner, but sometimes I did. But anyway, so that's a little bit about my first day. But if anything, I want you all to feel reaffirmed that this process is something that your body needs to do, and it may not be pretty. It may not feel so great, especially in the beginning, but that the long-term gains are going to be worth it. Talk to you later.